check if you want to see hot Christian singles in your area.
If you if you want to see hot quality podcast streamers, then look no further. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Runeterrable Radio. I am your host, Blevins. With me, as always, is Saucy Mailman. What's up, buddy?
That's me. That's my name. Right now, it's who I am.
That is who you are, and so we'll give you a little bit of context here if you're listening to this in the future, but we woke up and today was Christmas morning, and it is Targon expansion day. We've both currently been streaming for upwards of, I think, 2 or 3 hours apiece as we come into, actually, more than that. Yeah,
Wait.
3.
Yeah.
We're pushing 4, I think.
Four and a half.
4.5 hours as we start this recording, which is not normally what I do, at least. But it is Targon release day, release week, and man, it's an exciting time to be alive.
Yeah, it's super rad. So the release was a little bit bumpy. I think we can say a little bumpy. So it was scheduled for 11 a.m. Pacific time. And there were people that were able to get in early. I think you got in.
I did.
Early, right?
I was like one of the first people to get in, I think.
Yeah, so there were some people that got in early. I think the servers accidentally opened up early for some people.
Yeah.
And so then every single person on the planet flooded in, broke Riot's services, and like people. So I was like, oh crap, yeah. Blevins is like, hey, we can play the game now. So I'm like, okay, sweet. So I log on. I'm in for half a second before it boots me. And then all of my chat, I have all these people like, why is it broken? Servers are down. I'm like, oh man, it broke. It broke bad.
Yeah, it broke pretty bad. I got in. I literally made my I got in, I made my purchases, like I bought everything from all the new cosmetics because they're awesome. But I bought all of them, and I started going through and buying the cards with wild cards, and like it crashed. And
that happened to me a bunch of times.
Yeah, well, it was weird because I was in and people in chat are like, "Oh, I'm booting up, I'm getting in." I'm like, "Okay, great." And then I crash and people are like, "Monk ass" in chat, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, is it down for you, chat? And they're like, "Nope, I'm on." I'm like, "Okay, well, let me relog." It's giving me the error 5111 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Nope, we're still on. Haha, it's just you. You got banned. Lol, Omega lol."
You're the only person.
I'm the only one. You got banned because you have wild cards and they didn't want you to use wild cards today, so you're banned. I'm like, well, this is my life now.
Damn. Yeah, I was able to get in. So I found out I couldn't craft anything, but I was able to get in and play labs early. So I got to play labs for about 30 minutes before the actual release. And
nice.
The labs is awesome.
It's
Have you
really
played
good.
Any of it?
I played literally one deck. I played literally every deck one time.
Really?
I played all of them. Yeah, that's what I started out. I have played every single deck, and it's given me like a pretty good number of ideas, actually.
Yeah, they're sweet.
Yeah,
same. Although I got a little trolled. I was playing the what is it, the Nightfall labs deck, and I was like, oh, some of these cards are things I didn't think about playing in my Nocturne deck, and they were worse than what I had planned already. So I let it kind of troll me, but. Dude, okay, so yeah, this is happening. New cards. How are you feeling so far? First 4 hours of the expansion with the new stuff.
One thing I will say is that Ash Noxus is still a powerful deck. Yes. Ash Noxus, zero new cards.
Yeah, before the recording, I was we were chatting and we're like, so how many just regular Ash Noxus decks that you run into with no new cards, and still good. Still
Yeah,
good.
still good. I mean, so right now Plat is effectively Masters, right? Because that's where all the Masters
Yeah.
players started. So like, there's a segment of the Masters population that is just trying to get back to Masters as quickly as possible. So I get that. If I were really trying to do that, I would maybe run something like Ash Noxus and just, kind of cruise through all the people like me who are trying to make the optimal Elusives deck right now.
Yeah.
So I kind of get that, and I think that will go away probably as quickly as tomorrow or maybe 2 days, where we're not going to see that. And it's probably, man, I don't know. I feel like it's got to be like the higher ranks right now. Like people are
Yeah.
going to be pushing past that, and then then once the meta actually calms down a bit and like people actually figure out like, oh, this is these are some optimal ways to play Targon. Then
Yeah.
we're gonna hopefully see that sort of phase out a little bit.
Yeah. So my biggest thing that has surprised me. So we've played a lot of card games, you and I, Blevins,
Mm-hmm.
and normally a new set comes out. Let's take Magic the Gathering for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've played Magic, a new set comes out, and there's all of maybe 3 cards that are playable from a set.
Yep.
It's insane how many cards from this set are actually good.
Oh yeah. It's really insane. I mean, they added another color that's playable, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. They
it's
added a whole
insane.
and it's funny because so many people were like, "Do you think Targon's gonna not be played because it has less quantity of champions in other regions?" I'm like, "No, because the champions they added are their quality.
Yeah.
Like you don't need as many things if the things they add are just good."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's about quality, not quantity. Like Magic
Yeah.
the Gathering sets have 300 cards, but how many of them are playable? Not a
3.
lot. Right, exactly. Exactly, not a lot.
Yeah.
For me, I think the biggest thing that surprised me was I was a little undervaluing gems. I think gems are actually really
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
there's there's like 3 like points to the Targon triangle kind of. There's Nightfall, there's why am I thinking it's called Sunburst? It's not called Sunburst. It's what's the Leona thing called? Literally been playing it all day. Daybreak, Nightfall, and then like Gems is the other sort of point to that. And then I guess Celestial. So there's actually 4 points, right? And naturally I'm thinking like, okay, well, the Daybreak cards are there, and then the Nightfall cards are their own thing, Gems are their own thing, and Celestials are their own thing. But in reality, it's like I'm just gonna take like the best value cards from each of those points and jam them in every deck. Like, it's like the 3-mana 1/2 inspire or not inspire, invoke a what is it, 3, 4, or 5 cost Celestial. That card's really good because the pool is very strong. Like it's really good. The 1-mana 1/2 give a gem I've really been liking in the sort of aggro decks because like, yes, it's on the gem side, but it enables Nightfall like any other cheap spell, right? Like it's really good there. I think
and the Nightfall cards are so good in aggressive decks.
Yeah, I think people were sleeping on those because they weren't necessarily as sexy as some of the other ones. But I think the Nightfall cards are people, at least the people I was seeing, which was mostly like competitive players, were like mostly they were like really high on Daybreak and really low on Nightfall, and I think it's the opposite.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I just went against someone that was playing because I've been playing a whole bunch of different Nightfall decks.
Yeah.
And he had a really good Daybreak Nightfall deck. And one, Leona is way more powerful than I thought she was gonna be. She is a powerhouse. That card is nuts.
Yeah, she's strong.
But 2 is actually really cool. It was cool. I feel like here's how I feel about Leona. When you have her out, if she sticks, she's really incredible. But she does kind of feel a little bit like Yasuo 2.0, where like if you don't draw her, it's kind of not as good. like I've played against a few Leona Yasuo decks because people are like, oh, those two go together, and it just like feels the exact same. Like if
Right.
they don't draw their Leona or Yasuo, the deck just kind of falls on its face.
Yep.
But Leona is a lot when she gets going. The engine is quite strong.
Yeah, it's I don't know. The thing about Leona is and this actually leads me to another point that someone brought up, I think on Reddit or somewhere, that every spell in Targon is either burst or slow. There are 0 fast speed Targon spells.
Yeah.
So and like the burst speed ones are like there's not an infinite series of spells they can cast to proc Leona, right? Like I don't think that there are any burst daybreak cards. That might not be true, but I don't think that there are. So like
Yeah, I don't know.
so it's not like Leona is able to at least easily like proc her ability in combat. So like you can just open attack sometimes.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like, so I think right now she is gonna perform better and seemingly perform better than I think she ultimately will, because it's it's not it's not unknown what the pool of cards that can actually trigger her are, but like it's just not common knowledge, right? Like you're not like, oh, well, the list is going to be running essentially these cards, so they can have this in this position. It's like you can actually play around her pretty easily, at least like the mid-range sort of slower decks that I've been seeing her in.
Yeah.
I think there's something that you can build with her with aggro that might be kind of good, but
Yeah, I could see it.
I don't know. I kind of like she felt pretty good when she had Ravoon or Raven or whatever his name is, the 5-mana make the 5-mana draw daybreak card, and then also it's always day. She felt pretty good with that in play, but otherwise she just felt medium to me. And that's what I thought she was from the beginning. And I'm still kind of perplexed that so many people are like, she's like the best champion. I'm like, I don't even know if she's the top 3 for me.
Yeah, definitely not.
But I don't know. It's still super early, right? Like, I don't know. I'm also like, I think a little bit. I think Tarek is better than I thought. I think Lulu is actually just as good as I thought, which is very good. Nocturne is better. Diana actually was one that really got me a couple times.
She super impressed me. Like, because Diana didn't seem super exciting on paper to me, even though I was all about Nightfall. And I threw in, a Diana Nocturne deck, and she's great. Card is way better than I thought, especially with what is it, the Pale Cascade or whatever.
Oh, that card is insane.
That card is dumb.
That card is really good. Yeah, Pale Cascade is one that I'm like putting in every Targon deck now, or close to it. It's super good.
Strong.
Yeah. I'm wondering if I can build so one deck I built randomly. I don't know what made me think of this. I think what made me think of it was the fact that gems were better than I originally estimated. So I'm like, what can you do with gems that is really good? And I'm like, ooh, what if like you could play some sort of like Boggles deck, right? With like Spell Shield being the hexproof. Because I didn't realize until literally yesterday that Spell Shield, if a card just has Spell Shield, it just keeps it until it gets procced. I did not realize that. I thought it was like, I thought it was like Barrier.
No, because that's why I was saying Bastion just seemed okay because it specifies the end of round. But that's why I was so hype on the Spell Shield stuff, because I'm like, Aesol keeps that until it's procced, yo.
Right.
It's strong.
Right. So I'm like, I could like, if we're saying that, oh my god, my iPad is going off right now. If we're saying that Spell Shield is kind of like the hexproof, then all of a sudden the Porofly is like Slippery Boggle, right? And then it's like, how do I enable that? I went through a couple of iterations, and then what I landed on was I eventually went to the Porofly. I cut because it doesn't have enough ways to give it evasion that's relevant. There's not enough ways to do that. And then I was playing the 3-mana 1/2 spell shield lifesteal Stellacorn or fledgling Stellacorn, I think.
Yeah.
Also not that good. So
I know that was a. I didn't think it was gonna be good, but something about it was like maybe there's something there. But I
yeah.
feel like it's just a trap card.
What I ended up with that was kind of an interesting deck was Targon Freljord Elusive Nightfall was kind of interesting. It was kind of like the Fizz, the Starlet Fizz, except it was like putting it on. It was using more like of the Targon cards, like the hamster and the Nightfall elusive guy and like some other stuff. It was all right. I'm still not sold on a deck yet though.
Nightfall elusive guy is real strong. That card is good.
Nightfall elusive guy is strong. Hamster is good. Or I don't know what he actually is, a chinchilla or a yordle.
Works.
I don't know.
It's a hamster.
He has some funny lines. I found.
Yeah. Dude, have you played any Trundle? Because Trundle has some of the best lines.
I think I played him once, and I heard "Nice to meet you."
Yeah.
I think that's all I heard though.
Yeah. Oh my God. So the deck I've been playing for the last probably hour or so has been a Trundle Asol deck. Just ramp into Asol, and the Trundle Asol interactions are so good.
Oh really?
They're so good. Yeah. I forget what you summon Asol, and Trundle said something like about it being excited because now we're gonna win, and Aurelian Soldier's like, and I thought humans were stupid. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, me Trundle, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, Trundle is another one that I looked at him and I was just kind of like underwhelmed. Like, not that he was bad. And it was the same thing with Leona. Like, I don't think Leona is bad. It's just like I'm not excited about the card. And I wasn't excited about Trundle, but I kind of am a little more excited about Trundle now because I was certainly undervaluing regeneration. That's
Trundle is strong. He's way stronger than I thought. And the Frost Pillar is very, very strong, especially right now while no one remembers it has vulnerable and they just let that thing stay around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, every game I've played him, no one challenges the Frost Pillar thing. I'm just like, all right, I'll just keep making all of your crap vulnerable every turn.
Yeah. That's weird. And you can also...
Yeah, it's been great.
You can even attack with it too, which is awesome.
So salty moment of the day. Well, I've had a couple, but so I've been playing a Nocturne Mistwraith deck that is pretty strong. I keep putting too many Targon cards in my deck and missing my allegiance like an idiot. But I go against a Trundle Asol. This is the very first Trundle Asol I saw, which inspired me to make a version. He put out all 3 of the 2-mana ramp guys.
Okay.
And Catalyst of Aeons on curve and got out Asol turn 5 or 6.
Wow.
And had him leveled the next turn. I didn't win that game.
Yeah, I could imagine not winning it.
I play a Mistwraith and he plays an Asol. I'm like, oh, that's slightly over. It's a little bit out of my league.
Yeah, Mistwraith. What do you need to play? 9 other Mistwraiths to be able to trade with Asol.
Yeah. I did have a game where I was playing Callista Nocturne Mistwraiths, and my Mistwraiths were 8 attack.
Okay.
Like really early, like turn 6, 7.
Yeah.
That new Mistwraith spell is really good. I really like it.
Yeah. It's super strong because at worst it's creating a Mistwraith, right? Which is always going to be pretty good, especially when you're playing a deck around it. But also it can do it's one of there's only a few cards that can block at essentially burst speed out of nowhere, right? Like
the Jury Rig.
It's Jury Rig. It's like Eye of the Dragon if you play burst spells, and might be it.
Yep.
Honestly, I think that's it. So,
Oh, the other, what's the stupid 0-2 guy that if you can discard him?
oh yeah.
Those guys.
Flame chompers. Yeah, you had to play with rummage, right?
Yeah.
Or one of the burst spells. I think.
Yeah,
Is there another burst spell that
Rummage.
discards at burst
Draven's
speed?
spinning axe?
Yes, true. Yes, Draven's spinning axe. That's There's so many cards because so this is the natural progression of a new set, right? It is everyone wants to play with the new cards, right? So you're just like, right now I'm building new decks, and I'm almost like, I don't even want to see these old cards. Get them out of my. I'm just playing. I'm playing Call of the Mountain block constructed, basically.
Dude, seriously, that's been my big problem.
Yeah. Same. So it's like, okay, how many it's the same thing with Rising Tide. It's like, okay, I'm gonna build the Nautilus deck. Okay, let's keyword search deep, put every card in. Oh, I only need to fill 3 spots.
I've been doing that with Nightfall.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a little bit. I think it's good though, because it's like, okay, there's some cards that I overvalued and undervalued. And I'm figuring that out. Like, I think the support chain is a little bit worse than I thought it was, but Lulu herself and Tarek himself are better than I thought they were going to be. But like Flower Child, I'm not as sold on as I wanted to be. Pix, I think, is probably about as weak as everyone was thinking he was going to be, but I thought he was going to be a little bit better. Trying to think. There's been some other ones that I've like flipped on, which is cool to see that.
It's really hard until you get the cards in your hand,
right?
To actually know how things are going to perform.
Yeah, if we were being like, if we were trying to be as reasonable as possible, no one would make, any claims before you played the cards, right? Like, you can.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not fun, right? It's like, I want to make bold claims.
Make every claim.
I want to make every claim. I want to talk about the new cards. I want to theory craft because it's fun. It's fun to do.
I've never been wrong, so it doesn't matter,
Yeah. So, man, is there anything that you haven't tried yet that you're really itching to try?
Everything. No, I haven't gotten to build any Lulu decks yet.
Okay.
We went down a rabbit hole playing a Leona Swain deck that was really cool for a bit.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I've been down. Oh, we were trying to do TF Dragons.
Ooh.
Which was pretty interesting. If it goes, it's just really, really slow. The Dragon package is very, very slow.
Yes.
I'm not convinced that the Dragon Herald chick is good.
Right.
I want it to be, but it just seems like garbage. I wish it was a 1-drop, but alas.
Oh, that's right. It's a 2-mana 1/1. Ugh.
Yeah, 2-mana 1/1. So
yuck.
It's tough. It lets you do some things, but it's really tough. But yeah, Lulu I haven't gotten to experiment really with yet.
Yeah, the problem with the dragons is like Fury is such a just tack on ability that you just don't care that much about. Like,
it works insanely good in ASOL decks though. Fury is so good. I've had a couple games where they block my ASOL without thinking about him getting the extra attack, so I can level him up. And it's like,
right, that does level him up.
Yeah, there's a couple games I'm like, there's no way I can level up unless he just blocks for literally no reason, and then he did. I'm like, I can now level up ASOL. Let's go.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see where ASOL lines up. So what do you think? After having played him a bit, memes aside, is ASOL is it a card? Is it actually worth going for? Is it actually worth going for the 10 mana and going all in and doing the whole Celestials thing, or is he just a meme?
So far he's been pretty good. He's been better than I thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was gonna be more of a meme and more fun, but he's actually been quite legitimate, and he's been really easy to level up. Very, very easy to level up.
Well, he's he's
Spellshield.
Yeah, it's tough to kill him. he is half of the level up himself, right? So I guess
Mhm.
that's certainly helpful. And then like if you're playing something like Trundle, I mean Trundle gets real
He gets
big.
huge.
Yeah, he gets real big. I was gonna
So I
play.
haven't
Yeah,
I haven't been able to. I want to build Thresh ASOL, which is what I'm going to do right after this podcast.
yeah.
I want to do that.
I played around with it, and then I played. I lost to a bunch of aggro decks. I lost to the Nightfall aggro deck, the like all in SI
Yeah.
Targon Nightfall aggro. So I'm like, I've been seeing this a bunch. I actually want to play it, but I'm gonna try to beat this because I'm imagining that there's gonna be a lot of this on. So I build
Hmm.
the like most control-y, like it's nothing but removal spells and bombs, SI Targon control deck with Asol and Thresh. And I immediately play against a like mostly mono Targon control Celestial deck. That's just like
Yeah.
nothing. It's like every single thing they're doing is creating a Celestial and something else. So it's like just pure value in late game. And it's like, well, they're doing what I'm doing, but better. They don't have the removal spells for the early stuff, but I don't have any of that, so they're just getting rewarded. And I have a bunch of Vile Feasts and like Grasp of
Uh-huh.
Darkness, Grasp of the Undyings in my hand that are just useless. So I like. It was like 15 turns in. It was still 2020 because neither of us had done damage to each other, and I'm like, I'm just gonna lose this game. I just conceded. Like no damage had been done to either player, and I knew I was dead.
This is no longer fun. Yeah.
Well, because I was like, the thought was I can build kind of a board and do like the sort of early game SI like last breath stuff with like curse keeper and blightful caretaker and like do that to get Thresh out, and then Thresh can cheat Asol, and it's like, but I also had like Vile Feasts and Grasps and Ruinations and Vengeance and all that stuff, and it's like, it just didn't line up right. So I think it's an archetype that could work. I'm just not sure what the best sort of shell for it is yet.
Yeah. Exactly.
There was another deck that I haven't seen played yet, but I was talking with Casanova yesterday about it. It was a um, SI Bilgewater all in aggro deck, like aggro Nightfall deck that's running like all of the SI Nightfall stuff and then like the Powder Monkey type cards
Oh
and
yeah.
like just trying to be as aggro and like burn as possible. That's another one I want to build. I want to I still am I'm brewing emusives right now.
Hmm.
I'm working around it. I'm not sure where it wants to be because like I keep getting pulled into like, well, I want to do like Lulu stuff as well, but I don't
Yeah.
I honestly I don't know if emusives and Lulu I don't know if it's there because I don't like people have been sending me emusives decks, and I think that the decks themselves are good, but my biggest problem with um, the decks I'm getting sent is that they're too much like a valued Demacia deck that has the moose in it and gives it elusive. And you're basically making like a Bannerman deck worse by by adding the moose combo instead of making the moose deck, right? Like it's just not been as I kind of think you have to go all in on the moose combo plan or just don't do it. But
Yeah. It's tough. Yeah. I think I agree. It's yeah. I'm kind of in the same spot with brewing. I'm like, I want to do everything.
right.
So I haven't been able to like focus on. I'm like, oh my. So I'll be playing something and get a good idea. I'm like, oh, what if I threw this in and
Yeah.
tried this? So it's been. I've been having major deck ADD today.
Mhm. Which is weird because I usually don't have that. I'm like, oh, I'll find a deck and I'll just play it. But I've been like, I don't know. I got on this like Starlet Seer like Boggles deck, and I just like tried to brew it, and I mean, it didn't really. It kind of worked out a little bit, but I don't know. It was I don't know. So today, obviously, big day for LOR. I mean, we didn't even really talk about the emotes or the Guardian or any of that, Saucy. What have you thought about the emotes?
The problem is they're not Fizz or Teemo.
But they are Lulu.
They are Lulu. I think Lulu is a horrendous looking character. I don't know. I don't like the new emotes too much. I like the Nocturne one's all right.
I love the Nocturne one, but I also love
yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
The Nocturne one is good. Yeah, exactly. The reference is amazing. It's an S tier reference.
Yeah.
They're okay. None of them are like. None of them are like, I need this right now in my life.
Yeah, I can see that. But speaking of, I need this now in my life, Saucy. How about Cosmo?
Cosmo is a solid when he like his little animation where he eats the little space dog bone.
Yep.
Okay, it's good.
He's amazing. He is my new favorite, for sure. But I'm also biased because I had a French bulldog growing up, and he kind of looks like that. So I'm like,
yep,
I'm all about this.
It's way adorable. It's so cute.
Super adorbs. So I'm wondering, Saucy, you know, we've brewed some decks here. We've got some ideas. I mean, is there anything that's like an old archetype that could possibly still be good? Like, because I know, I know, you know, we both have the luxury of, you know, we have everything, right? Because we did the creator event, and we have a lot of leftover wild cards. We crafted the whole set the second it came out. A lot of folks that have been coming into my chat, and I'm sure in yours as well, have been asking about like, oh, hey, what can I build with, you know, when I used to have Ash Noxus, what can I build, you know, out of that? What is that? Is there anything off the top of your head that is like maybe an adaptation or some new cards that could go in a popular deck from the old format?
I think one of the coolest things is I don't feel like there's any archetypes that were good before that are suddenly no longer playable.
Right.
I think everything's still fine. I feel like there's a really good Karma Ezreal deck right now. That's gonna exist.
Don't tell people that. Tell them it's not
gonna give. Yeah. Actually, Karma Ezreal is suddenly. I think if you have either of those cards in your deck, it uninstalls the client.
Yep.
There's a bug right now, so don't try it. Just don't try it. It's not worth your time.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a. I don't have anything specific because I haven't been brewing any old archetypes, but I do see things that I'm like, yeah, I feel like this would go well in XYZ shell.
Yeah. I definitely think that you can run Ash Noxus straight up with no new cards, and it's going to be fine. Because
I've lost to it a few times. I think Endure Spiders, a solid choice right now.
Yeah.
If your goal is to sheerly just rank up and not have any fun, play Ash Noxus or Endure Spiders because they're still great.
Yeah, they are still great. I mean, people will have fun for different reasons, but man, if I were
Day one is not the time for that. Day one is the time even the most tryhards. This is your one day to have fun. Then, you know, you have 2 months to grind. Just play new shit.
Yeah, but Saucy, I want to be first, so,
Oh, yeah, true. Damn it.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of, like, I just need to have some amount of fun, or else I'm just not going to play, which is not something I want to do. I want to be playing, I want to stream, I want to get some excitement for that. Okay, yeah, for me, I was just trying to think, because, like, a bunch of people have come in and asked, and they're like, oh, crap, you have a bunch of wild cards and stuff, and it's something that, like, I don't think as much about just because, like, I have all of it. So I think you can actually if you had something like Kinku Elusives, I think you can build something very similar to that and have a really good time. I'm right now brewing some elusive type strategies. I'm playing around with Lulu. I'm playing with Targon potentially. Lulu and Zed I think is a good combo also potentially.
Yeah, I think Zed might be in a good spot right now, just in general.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's going to be interesting to see what the new sort of like breakpoints like. Is it still 4 health? Do you need to be able to deal with 4 health a lot? Because that's kind of been like the difference between 3 and 4 is huge right now, or it was in the previous meta. I'm wondering if that's still the case, or if it's like, well, you need to have 5 power because Leona has 5 health, so like that, and that's a big metric. So I'm very interested to see where that lines up, and whatnot. But
Yeah, I love like this set, just the whole design. A lot of the stuff they brought, I feel like it's going to add a lot of counterpoints to the meta itself. Like for instance, if the world is dominated by some sort of really slow Aurelion Soul deck,
yeah,
like maybe the Yasuo Leona stun deck is good because you just stop their big shit from ever attacking.
right.
Like there's a lot of like interesting stuff, especially just with all the different spells we got. All of the new, fearsome stuff we can play now, Miss Wraiths, and there's just a lot of cool things. Even Powder Monkey support, let's go.
Yeah, give me some more powder monkeys. Oh, Saucy! I now remember the biggest thing that I am absolutely livid about.
Oh my god, you better tell me now.
The fact that in the patch, just at the end of the patch, like it was nothing, like it wasn't a big deal.
Yep.
Right at the end, after all this awesome news, I didn't even read it the first time. They just put this little line at the end that says, "Oh, by the way, Playful Trickster plus Tarek doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Yep,
We drastically changed Tarek so that you can't have fun anymore." Why? Boo. This is the first time I've been actively upset about a change that they made. Like I'm mad about it. Okay, I'm not mad. I'm upset about it and disappointed in the choice that they made.
No, you're mad. Be honest.
I'm pretty
it's
mad.
It's
I'm pretty
okay.
mad.
This is we're honest podcasters.
Yeah.
Me too.
I don't
love Playful Trickster as a card, and I was very excited to see. I'm like, this could be the Playful Trickster deck of my dreams. Because you know how I love my stupid OTKs. Like I was playing Zephyr Sages and Puffcap OTK. I'm like, another OTK for me. Because like when people are like, hey, Saucy,
kind of hard.
Why don't you? Yeah, people are like, why don't you play in tournaments? I'm like, well, because they don't want me to bring all OTK decks. Because I can only have 2 OTK decks. This was gonna be my 3rd OTK deck for my lineup, and now I can't.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it was going to be. It wasn't going to be easy to do because, like, I literally. So I didn't read the change to Tarek. I just was. They didn't actually describe what the change was in the patch. So I'm like, what is going to happen? They just said that interaction doesn't work anymore. I was like, so what is going to happen when I cast Playful Trickster on Tarek? Is it just going to pop up on the screen and say nope? Well,
no,
actually,
it just says, this is no longer allowed.
Well, I read after about 6 games versus the AI where I literally could not draw Tarek, even though I was hard mulliganing for him. And I kept playing against the spider aggro deck, the only deck that can actually kill you as the AI. I finally got it, and then after I cast it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna attack with 2 things. I'm gonna cast Playful Trickster on Tarek. It goes through, and I'm like, wait, this worked. And then I attack again, and it didn't work. And then I saw there's a little line they added. It just says, "This card can't be copied." It just says it on the card. They just added that to the card.
Yeah.
What?
Nailed it.
Yeah, I'm upset about it. It makes like it not only nerfs the Playful Trickster thing. It also like, what if I was gonna do emusives with Tarek, all of a sudden because Tarek, even if you just had like any buff spell with Tarek and you used a rally effect, like it's really strong. Like but now it's like, nah, instead we're just gonna not allow Tarek to have fun. So I don't know. I'm upset about it. I do think that Tarek is actually much stronger than people were thinking he was going to be.
Yes. Yes. I
it-
didn't think he was going to be good. Like, when I first looked at him, I thought he was going to be okay.
Mhm.
But playing against him, one, he's way easier to level than I thought. And two, when he's leveled, it's real hard to get rid of him.
It's real hard to get rid of him. You're already going to be playing more errant gem cards in your deck than I think we originally imagined. Also, we didn't know like what the gem cards were going to be. But like the 1-mana 1/2 that creates a gem, I think is a very, very good card. I'm playing it in almost every Targon deck I've been playing.
Same. It's good.
Tarek also didn't realize this, but when he copies the spell, that counts towards his level up. So it's kind of like his level up is cut in half. So when it's like, oh my God, how are you going to get 7? It's actually only 3 or 3. It's 4 kind of. And then if you're attacking with him, and then also like you can just cast gems on other turns, right? Like, so
Also, similar to Tarek, have you ever seen Lulu not be leveled the turn she's played? Holy crap, she's
very
so easy
rarely.
to level.
Very rarely.
I'm like, she's always leveled up.
Yeah, Lulu is actually, I think, insane. Because like a 3-mana 2/3 is already kind of playable, but she's a 3-mana 3/4 that creates the spell every turn and like makes like she's actually insane. But I like her power level actually because she's insane, but she's not like. So what I don't want is like an insane card that at every single point in the game that you draw that card, they're insane always and they're better than everything else. Lulu has really, really high points where you like curve out and you play a Lulu, right? And you have something to support and it's insane, right? She can be super good. But if you have no board and you play her, even if she's leveled, she's just okay at that point. It's a 3-mana 3/4 that gives you the picks every turn, which is good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not insane when you don't have a board. So
it's not just exactly. She needs things to make her good.
But not like, but she's also not like you don't necessarily need to play a theme deck either, which is also good. You can play the theme deck and she gets even better, but you can just play her as herself with other units and she's going to be good. Which
play her with stuff. I think that's one of the things that like I think you learn about this game specifically as opposed to other card games like when you're first playing. I'll use Teemo as an example where like, and early on everyone thought if you're playing Teemo, you must play everything that says puff cap. Where like there's a lot of decks I've played Teemo in lately with no puff cap support, just as a very like a lot of pressure on a 1-drop. And an elusive blocker. But yeah, I mean she like her she fits well with other units. If you're playing other things, she's good.
If you're playing units in your deck, then she's going to be pretty good.
Are you playing followers and champions? Lulu might be okay.
Yeah. One other thing that she does really well that I didn't realize until basically yesterday and today is that help picks. A, just a really good card to generate. B, that'll proc a spell shield. So if your opponent is relying on spell shield, you're going to be able to get through it. At least the first part of it, which is really cool.
And my tip of the day also, because I don't know about everyone else out there, but my chat hasn't figured out that Spell Shield only procs from your enemy's abilities.
Yeah.
So, like, when you Avalanche, your Aurelion Soul keeps his Spell Shield.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's going to take a while for people to learn how a Spell Shield works.
Wait.
It's interesting.
It keeps the Spell Shield, but also the spell still goes through, right?
Yeah, spell still goes through.
So, like, your Aurelion will take 2 from your Avalanche. Okay, I was like, the way you were saying it made me kind of think that you might be able to double dip, like it doesn't proc the spell shield and also he doesn't get affected by it.
But like when
that
you
wouldn't
need
make
it
sense.
to keep that spell shield so that the stupid Yasuo player can't Will of Ionia him to win.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking
There's
of
a lot more counterplay from this set though. There's a lot of
a
lot of big brain thinking that's going on.
There's a lot of, I think, just like impactful cards that came out. Like one that I wasn't thinking, or one card that I didn't think was going to be super, super great, but ended up being like much better was the 8-mana, I don't remember what it's called, but the double dragon card that's just
He's great. He's
pick
real
2 things
strong.
and they stun every turn. It's like, wait. I'm like, oh, this is just kind of like a more expensive Yone and whatever. And I'm like, wait, How do I win from here?
Yeah, it's really yeah, that's like another like pseudo win con in a lot of decks where it's kind of like the yeah, like it's a Yone that just sticks around, but you like use it, you can use it offensively, and it's super sick. I
Yeah.
love that card. I thought the card was gonna be just like meh, but it has
Yeah.
been impressive.
There have been multiple times, granted, I think they were mostly in the lab, but there have been multiple times where I'm like, okay, I'm playing like kind of a, we're in like the mid game, it's back and forth, I'm pulling ahead, and they play that, and I'm like, oh, guess I'm dead. Like,
Yeah, okay, well, remember that time I died? It's
Yeah.
right now.
it is right now, and there's nothing that we can do about it. Yeah, so. There's been, and actually, let's think about this because I think this will be an interesting section. What are the? I'll just say top. Let's start with top 2. Maybe go to top 3. What are the top 2 cards? We'll do one each and go back and forth. Cards that have been surprisingly either better or surprisingly worse. We've kind of alluded at some, but like, what are the top ones for you? I can start.
I'm gonna have to look
Because I have
I'm
one.
gonna have to actually look.
The first one we talked about a little bit earlier, but I'm gonna go with I'm going with Diana here, and
Yeah,
I was a big fan of Diana just because like I like a cheap champion. I've been a big fan of Lucian since the beginning. He's only like, I mean, I say recently, but only in the past like month or so or couple months really been getting sort of the recognition that I think he's deserved from the beginning. Like I think Lucian's actually an insane card. So I'm always going to look at a 2-mana champ and consider it. But given that, I still wasn't like, oh, Diana's insane. And then I just got completely blown out by it. Like it's so easy to trigger Nightfall. It's so hard for her not to just completely destroy you in the early game. Like it's like Treferian Glory Seeker, the 5/1, except she's a champion that can generate value later, and also she won't trade most of the time. She just eats the unit because she has quick attack. It's just, and she keeps quick attack, and you can give her challenger again. It's just so. I had her like kind of medium, and she's ended up being like really strong for me.
Yeah. Okay. So some that I didn't think were gonna be as good as they've been. The Sunburst card, the 6-mana slow spell, deal 6 to a unit, Daybreak instead silence it this round and deal 6 has been pretty good. That's been strong, and that Solari Priestess card has really impressed me.
Yes.
It's the 3-mana 1/2 Daybreak, invoke a celestial card that costs 4, 5, or 6. That card is very strong.
That card's been way better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just like, it's like okay. You know, I don't want to play a 3. Yeah, I don't want to play a 3-mana Squire. But then it's like, oh wait, the pool that you can pull from is like insane good. So
yeah, very good.
Yeah, that one. So Diana, she's on my list as well. Another one for me, has just been like, I mentioned the dragons already. We talked a lot about Nightfall. I mean, Trundle for me was just kind of like whatever. He's just been. I think he's actually really good. I'm still my problem with, I mean, a lot of these cards and like my evaluations of them is like Trundle's really good, but is he better than Sejuani, or am I just seeing it because he's the new card and I'm not playing Sejuani because I want to play the new card? That's my biggest thing. It's like, is Diana actually good, or do I just want to play Targon because Targon's the new hotness, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, that's what's going to be interesting over the next couple weeks to see what decks actually end up being played and how things evolve when people remember that, you know, aggro still exists and stuff like that. So it's going to be, I'm having fun, you know, just brewing a bunch of crazy, stupid nonsense.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'll probably just end up playing Smooth Soloist again.
But you might get a couple extra options potentially. You can get
Exactly.
Jack the Winner. That's like one of my favorite cards. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna find a deck for it, but I just like he's got a giant. He's like half shark. He's got a top hat and a big old beard. I love it.
He is dope. He is dope. Yeah.
So I know actually, shoot, we're like almost at an hour anyway, but I know we both want to get back to playing the cards, so we're gonna wrap it up here for the episode. One last thing I wanted to bring up is very soon. I'm like in the last bit of finalizing it, but the Runeterrable Radio Patreon will be, I will say, done before the next episode. I've got like 75 to 80% of it done. I just need a couple more finishing touches and then hit the go live button and we'll be there. So if you want to just stay tuned on Twitter at Runeterrable. On Twitter, make sure you're going to the Discord, discord.me/RuneTerrableRadio, and stay up to date with that if you want to get on the Runeterrable Radio Patreon train. But we're super, super close to launching that.
Yeah, we just have some final touches. We got to finish up like some naming and some assets, but we're close. We've
Super
been
close.
we're probably putting way too much work into this, but Blevins and I are both like perfectionists. So we're like, oh, this has to be polished completely, whereas I'm sure you guys don't care as much as we do, but we want it to be pretty and good.
Yeah.
So.
What I will say is that it was merely an idea the last time we mentioned it, last episode, and I have all of the back end stuff set up, and I have made the account and have populated like 75% of it on the account. So it's not just me saying something. I actually have put a bunch of stuff into it, which isn't always the case, but it is here. So with that being said, again, if you want to head over to the Discord and in show suggestions, the text channel show suggestions, if there's anything cool or anything you've seen from another Patreon or another content creator that they've done as cool, like incentives for anything, we are absolutely all ears. We're obviously connected with a lot of folks and have been following a lot of content creators on Patreon as well. So we've sort of modeled after a lot of folks that we like. But if there's anything cool that you'd like to see us do, just let us know there. So, but yeah, Saucy, I mean, we're both just chomping at the bit to start playing again. So before we go, where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me just saucymailman.com is my website. I had a bittersweet morning. I uploaded my final list of Rising Tides deck list to make room for all the new ones, and I was like, we had some good times, you and I, Swain Timo.
Yep.
So just saucymailman.com and Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all just Saucy Mailman.
Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter as well at @the_Blevins. But make sure you're following the show at Runeterrable Radio on Twitter, and Discord is the best place. It is the community. It is our hub. It is where you can find both myself and Saucy at basically all waking hours and even some non-waking hours for sure.
One of us will always be on, like between our time zones.
Yeah.
Like there's one of us is usually always there. We both have.
There's a lot of coverage.
Yeah, we're always there.
We're pretty much 24/7 coverage on Discord.
If you want to chat with us, we're always on Discord.
Yeah,
honestly. One of us at least.
Yes.
If you ping us,
Oh yeah, if you at me on Discord, I'll definitely see it, and I will definitely respond for sure. Oh God, I've just opened up a terrible door.
Everyone at Blevins.
God, you know what?
Right
Fine,
now.
do it. At me on Discord. Discord.me/RuneTerrableRadio. If you haven't joined already, it is. I seriously mean it. We have an awesome community and it's super active. It's more active than any Discord I think I've ever seen. That's not just like spamming a like an official Riot channel where there's not actually a community. It's just a Twitch chat amalgam. Yeah. It is it is awesome. So really, really suggest you go there. But also, we've got Runeterrable.com, DeckPics.Live, if you want to check out all our links there. But that is going to be it. Saucy. We're going to get back to the Bruin and the Call of the Mountain until next time. So, for Saucy Mailman, I am the Blevins. I can already see the Discord pings coming in. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week for some more Legends of Runeterra action.